Today we are going to discuss the Leslie coat of arms. But before we get started, we wanted to let you know that we offer genealogy research service at our website. Please visit us at coadb.com. Now, all of the written blazons and historical information shown on these slides can be found in the video description as well as the first pinned comment. I'm not going to read it all. There's a lot of coats of arms. I'm going to go through it fast. First is for Leslie of That Ilk from County Aberdeen, Scotland, who descended from Andrew of Leslie, who died around the year 1323. He was son of Norman, who was sheriff of the county, and ultimately they descended from Malcolm of Garioch. Next is Leslie of Balquhain in County Aberdeen. They descended from George Leslie, who died around the year 1351. Also descended from this line was Sir Andrew and Sir William Leslie. Looks like they died in the 15th century. Next is Leslie of Kincraigie in County Aberdeen, Scotland, who descended from William Leslie, who was first of Kincraighe, alive in the year 1470, had son William, who had son Alexander. And here we see Kincraigie Castle. Another for Leslie of New Leslie in County Aberdeen. They descended from George Leslie of New Leslie, who had son Walter, who had son George. Looks like the arms were matriculated by a later member of the family, James Leslie, who was advocate in Aberdeen in the year 1694. Leslie of Kincraigie in Aberdeen descended from Alexander Leslie, who had son Walter, who died in 1563. Leslie of Pitcaple in County Aberdeen descended from David Leslie of Pitcaple, alive in the year 1472, who had son James, who had son David. Leslie of Colpeenay Shields in Aberdeen. Now, I wasn't able to find such a location. Odd spelling. Could be a misspelling, perhaps. But I wasn't able to find any additional information on this one. Leslie of Eustons in Scotland. Thomas Leslie of Euston, matriculated in the 1670s. George Leslie, Bailey of Aberdeen. In 1672 it was registered or matriculated. Norman Leslie, alive in the year 1669, Dean of a guild of Aberdeen. Leslie of Tullich in County Aberdeen, Walter Leslie of Tullich, born 1616, son of Lachlan Leslie, who was son of William, the first laird of Inverurie, and he had sons John, George, Adam, and Lachlan. Leslie of Ward Hill in Aberdeen descended from William Leslie, who died in 1561 and had son Stephen Leslie. And later there was Alexander Leslie, one of the last members of the family, who died in 1799. We see the family seat of Ward Hill Castle. Another exemplified to Francis Charles Beers, Esquire of Ballyward Lodge in County Down in, I believe, Northern Ireland, who assumed the surname Leslie in memory of his maternal uncle, Reverend John Leslie of Kincraigie Castle, the son of Dr. Charles Leslie, Archdeacon of Raphoe. And here we see Ballyward Lodge. Martin Leslie Hayworth, son of Martin Edward Hayworth of Balham Wood in County Hertfordshire, and his wife Lady Mary Leslie, who was the eldest surviving sister of the 11th Earl of Rothes. Sir William Leslie of Nethermuir, born 1802, a Scottish architect and building contractor who served as Lord Provost of Aberdeen, seen here. He was son of Alexander Leslie, a mason, born 1765. Leslie of Ballybay in Monaghan, Ireland, confirmed in 1708 to I'm not sure what that stands for, venerable Henry Leslie of Hillsborough. Doctor of Divinity, Archdeacon of Down, son of James Leslie of Leslie Hill or Leslie House in County Antrim, who was the son of Reverend Henry Leslie, Bishop of Meath. Here we see the family seat of Ballybay House. Earl Roth's title created in the Peerage of Scotland in 1458 for George Leslie, who had already been created Lord Leslie in 1455, also in the Peerage of Scotland, son of Norman Leslie of Fithkill. Here we see a list of the Earls of Rothes all the way through the 7th, who was created a duke. So on the right here we see John Leslie, the 6th Earl, and here we see John Leslie, 7th Earl and 1st Duke. Leslie of Wardis and Finrassie. The Leslie Baronetcy of Wardis and Finrassie was a title created in the Baronetage of Nova Scotia in 1625 for Sir John Leslie, son of John Leslie of Wardis, a descendant of Alexander Leslie. Quarterly coat of arms for Lord Lindoris, a lordship in Parliament in the Peerage of Scotland, created in 1600 for Sir Patrick Leslie. Lord Newark, a lordship in Parliament created in 1661 for David Leslie, a Covenanter General. Leslie of Birdsbank, George Leslie, son of William Leslie, son of George, all of Birdsbank. Leslie of Tory in County Forfar. I have a note here that says there was a William Leslie alive in the year 1870 who had an interest in the lands of Tory Farm. One possibility. Leslie of Powys in County Aberdeen. Hugh Leslie, born in 1758. Some involvement in the slave trade in Jamaica. He was the son of John Leslie and Christian Fraser. Leslie of Dunlugus in County Banff. Hans George Leslie, who died in 1868, was nephew of William Leslie, a successful Norwegian merchant, both of Dunlugus, son of George Leslie, Bailey of Banff, and merchant who moved to Kristiansund, Norway. Here we see the family estate of Dunlugus House. Next is Jonathan Forbes Leslie of Rothy Norman, born 1798, granted in 1862. He was a lieutenant colonel in the 78th Highlanders, a justice of the peace, and he inherited the estate from his cousin, Robert Leslie. Alexander Leslie, he was created the 1st Earl of Leven and Lord Balquhain, a Scottish military officer. He was the illegitimate son of, didn't write it down here, but it looks like he obtained the rank of Field Marshal in the Swedish Army. And here we see Alexander Leslie. Walter Leslie, a Scottish soldier and diplomat, created Count in the Holy Roman Empire in the year 1662. And if you enjoyed this video, please visit us at coatb.com, where we offer genealogy research service, high-resolution digital JPEGs, and heraldic merchandise such as t-shirts, posters, and mugs. Link in the description. Like and follow. Thank you very much.